Good morning, everyone. Happy World Card Making Day. Oh my goodness. Can you believe that we have a day set aside just for card making? I think that's pretty cool. I don't have my computer on here, so I don't even know if I'm live in the right spot. If you are hopping in, please let me know that I am live in the right group. And please introduce yourself. Let me know where you're watching from. Happy World Card Making Day, everyone. I am so happy to be here with you today. Debbie's here. Good morning, Debbie. It is 11 o'clock here on the East Coast. I barely got ready in time. Oh my goodness. I'm used to kind of lazy Saturday mornings. Okay, good. Thank you, Amy. And Karen's here. Good morning, everyone. Happy World Card Making Day. Oh my goodness. I hope you get lots of card making done today. I really, really do. Bree's here. Lisa's here. Kim's here. Let me just introduce myself quickly. My name is Jamie. I am with Stamp It Up with Jamie. I am the Jamie there. And oh, thanks, Jessica. And I am in the Incan crew here and love this group so much. Love these ladies. We have a good time. And today I'm going to be making a Christmas card for you. Funny story about the Christmas card because when I was preparing the card, I texted Amy. I said, Amy, what are the guidelines? Like, do I have to make a certain kind of card? Do I have to do something special? Like, what do I have some parameters I have to stay in? I said, obviously, I know I have to use like current product, but other than that, like, do I have to do anything special? She goes, no, just, current product. Okay, current product. That's easy. Until I go and make the card and realize I use a Celebration designer paper, which is no longer available. So I myself was like, I knew I had to use current product. So needless to say, like 5 minutes before going live, I quickly put on a different designer paper, but clearly I don't know how to work within parameters. Oh, Faith, no problem. Hopefully you can make some cards like in between the videos and whatnot. Just a reminder that there's lots of opportunities for Prize Patrol today. And so make sure that you are checking out the different posts and commenting for a chance to win. And there's 9 of us today. So if you miss any of the live videos, no problem. They're going to stick right here in the group. You can reference them in the future and hopefully maybe you like a few and want to case them or copy them or whatnot. So okay, let's get going on today's card. I also very last minute added a bow and it's not sticking to the card front. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when I try and stamp in the morning. Guys, I am not a morning person. It's so bad. Good morning, Marcia and Connie. Happy World Card Making Day, everyone. Okay, I am going to flip my camera around. All of it is pretty, and honestly, you're going to see what I did. Yes, they are. Okay, I'm going to flip the phone around, guys. Please keep commenting. Please keep introducing yourself. I will go back and try and catch your comments afterwards. If you have questions, I probably will miss them, but there's other ladies from the crew that are in the group here and we'll catch your questions. Okay. So, give me a moment. The struggle is always real when I flip my phone around. Just be patient and then we'll get going on the card. Am I? Oh, I'm quite off. There we go. Okay, let me just move up my seat. Here's the card I'm making. Okay, like I said, I clearly don't know how to follow instructions because I quickly last minute just swapped out this card, this DSP under here. You'll see the original DSP there. I totally don't know how to follow instructions. It's so bad. And then I quickly added this bow, which I have to glue down with glue because the glue dot is clearly not working. So we're just a hot mess this morning, everyone, but it's all good because I'm here with you. Okay, so here's the card I'm making. It is a simple Christmas card. That's kind of my jam. I like simple with little details. So the little details are, oh, I forgot to get them out. I have to get them out. These little dots, the real red dots that are kind of interwoven in this pine. I have a little bit of gold just kind of on the edge there as a mat. I did some simple embossing here. So simple card, but I think it's really easy and I think you're gonna enjoy it. Oh my gosh, I forgot to grab that too. Hold on. I'm telling you, I'm clearly not a morning person because I cannot get my act together this morning. Good morning, Jean and Marcia. Hello, ladies. Okay, so the bird and the sentiment come from the Happy Holidays. Love the pun. I love this image so much right here. I'm not using it. I really, really like it though. So love the holly image, although I'm going with a different set for that. But the great bird, and I love this big, gigantic, chunky Noel. And then I'm going to use the Christmas blessings for the inside. And then the branch is this little guy right down here, and he's from the Merriest Moments stamp set. And so, hold on, I got to get a block. Whoops, as I hit my outlight. So this little guy is going to do all the work for us. Now, if you didn't want to add these dots, there is like a cluster that you could probably use as well to add a little hint of red to your greenery here. So let's just dive right in. I'm going to walk you through step by step, and I think that's the easiest way to go about this. So my card base is garden green, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Ironically enough, even though it's like a true green, I rarely use garden green, but I thought it was very fitting for kind of the cascading greenery that I have coming down my, my card front there. Okay. So just give that a nice score. And then what I did is I have a pattern of garden green. So this is in the Regals Designer Series paper, all six, oh my goodness, 6 of our color collection. So brights, regals, subtles, neutrals, and then the 2 in colors have packs of designer paper. So sometimes you're like, oh, I really wish I had a whatever, Granny Apple Green designer paper, but there's none in any of the packs of designer paper. Well, that's where these color families come in handy because they have all the colors, except basic black, but they have all the colors. So irregardless, you are good to go and can find something in there. Okay, so this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's just the garden green pattern, which I love. If you also happen to have one of the retired designer papers from the latest celebration, you'll find a really nice garden green pattern there as well. Which may have been on my original design. Just saying. Yes, I almost went with Evening Evergreen, Catherine Lee, because it's my favorite green right now, but I feel like I need to give garden green some loving. I very rarely use it. So then I have a panel of basic white. This is 3 1/2 by 5 1/2. So the entire height of the card, but only 3 1/2 wide. And I'm first going to stamp the bird. And I'm stamping the bird first because I can kind of basically work the greenery around the positioning because the greenery is photopolymer. But if I were to stamp the greenery first and then get the bird on that, I'm going to have a harder time. This is our red rubber cling. I can't see through it. I'm kind of guessing for placement. So it's just easier to stamp the bird first and then kind of after that, stamp the greenery. Oh, and I forgot to grab my garden green ink pad. Oh my gosh. What else did I forget? I'm sure there's other things I forgot. Okay, so I'm stamping the bird in Memento Black ink because I am going to be coloring him in with Stampin' Blends. I'm going to really load this up with some ink here. And then hopefully I get a good placement. If not, we're doing it again. Everybody hold your breath. Hold your breath. Let's see I get this right. Oh, we're going to call that good. That's pretty good. That'll work. Anywhere you want. I kind of want it a little higher because I want the greenery kind of coming underneath. But anywhere you want it, that's where you should stamp it. I feel like that could be a song. Anywhere you want it. Okay. So I have crumb cake, light and dark, and then the light soft suede. The light soft suede is just going to be his beak and his feet. And the crumb cake is what I'm going to use for his body. So I'm definitely going to be using the brush end because I want to cover some ground here. And I'm going to attempt to color the top half here. So see how he has like his belly, the top half a little darker than the bottom half. They're both crumb cake, but I'm just going to add more layers of color to the top and keep the bottom just basically just crumb cake, a light crumb cake. So the top, I'm going to come in first with my light crumb cake, again, the brush end. And I'm literally just going to throw this color on here. I just want a base of something I can kind of work off of. So, like this. I'm not worrying about any detail. I just want color on it. And then I can kind of work from there. Some people like to start with the dark blends. I don't know. There's no right or wrong way. Whatever works for you, whatever you find gives you the best outcome, that's what you should do. Now I'm going to come with the dark, and this is where I'm going to kind of focus on his head. So I'm going to come like that. Can you see? And then around his back, down his feathers. I'm using the brush end again because it does allow me to cover significant space. I can cover big ground at once. And then his wing feathers. So this is one of the brilliances of our Stampin' blends, is that you can get one color, but as long as you keep adding color to it, giving different layers, you're going to get a bajillion different shades, and that is a technical amount. It is the official bajillion, by the way. So now I'm coming back with the light, and I'm going to sort of pull out the dark shade that I just applied and force it to blend with my light. And as long as I keep layering on the color, it's going to get darker. So I'm using one color family of markers, but getting lots of different colors out of it. See, I can just keep layering on the colors, and I'm getting darker shades from it. Like so. I love our markers. I'm really not a fan of coloring. For the longest time before the blends came out, I avoided it like the plague. I found watercoloring was just super hard. I had a hard time having color control and whatnot. But these blends are so ridiculously user-friendly that I love them so much. And they're really easy to work with. If I can do it, you can do it. And some people struggle. Just keep practicing, watch tutorials. I like to think of the natural lines that Stampin' Up! Is providing us, and then just kind of following those natural hints. This is the dark marker here, and I'm just very subtly, not too much, adding an extra layer of dark. Okay, and this is what we're left with. Okay, so the light one I'm going to do on his belly, and I'm going to, oops, wrong end. I want the brush end. And I'm going to just do one layer of color for his belly. I want his belly to be the lightest shade. So far, I'm getting all these colors just by using one Stampin' Blends color family, just the crumb cake. That is it. And honestly, I could use the crumb cake for his beak and legs as well, but I have the Stampin', I have the soft suede, so we'll just use that. Okay, that's good. So then, oh, coloring pencils. You know, Carol, I rarely use coloring pencils. I don't know why. I should probably practice with them a little bit more. For the beak, I'm just using the light soft suede, and for the feet as well. Definitely the more ballpoint end, because these little toesies are quite narrow. And there we go. That's all I'm going to do. Keep them simple. I discovered that this is a wren. True story about me. I don't know names of anything. When I'm stamping flowers, no clue. Stamping birds, couldn't tell you. So, in one of my Facebook lives, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I was using this bird, no clue what it was called, and I colored him in red. And come to find out, he's a wren, and wrens are not red. They're like this brown color. So I learned something new, and I figured I would correct my mistake today and color him properly. Okay, So I have that greenery from the Merriest Moments. I'm going to be using Garden Green, and I'm going to first stamp right underneath his feet because I want to make sure I hit right under his feet. If I start from the left and make my way down, I don't know, the positioning of it may not be quite right. And so I'm going to start with stamping in the middle. Well, Amy, I colored it red because if you look in the catalog, it's red there too. So I figured they know what they're doing, but apparently it was an artistic bird. Stampin' Up colored him artistically. Okay, so there's no right or wrong to this. So, you know what I mean? Just have fun. Don't overthink it. I'm going to do one right there. Then I'm going to do kind of one a little bit up and to the right. Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. For a second there, I thought I didn't have my Do Not Disturb on. Sorry. And then I'm going to do one up and then catch it and kind of come one down. Okay. Ink up again, and I'm going to do the same thing. One a little, oops, hold on. That is not going to end well for me. I can see that coming a mile away. Let me just clean that off. I would, knowing me, I would totally smudge it. Okay, and then I'm going to go a little up, although I have to be careful his tail. His tail is there. Okay, and then a little underneath. Maybe like there. Okay. That's all we're doing. Now, you could totally load that up, load that branch up. I'm going to leave it like that. We're going to keep it on the simpler side. But you could keep adding more branches and have it be a fuller. Did I nick that? I totally nicked that. How did I nick that? Oh, boy. Hold on. I'm going to trim that. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. I have stuff everywhere. My trimmer is buried. I'm going to just give it a little bit of a haircut because I nicked right there if you see it. Just a little bit. There we go. No one is the wiser except you and me, and we're going to just keep that to ourselves. Okay, so there we go. Now we're going to stamp the sentiment. Holy cow, I have stuff everywhere. It's all falling. I'm going to do some heat embossing using the gold embossing folder. I'm going to stamp the big, gigantic Noel. Now, it is a red rubber, and if you struggle with getting good placement with the red rubber, what I like to do is I take my block, I put it right up to my grid paper. I have the top of it right on the lines there, and then I imagine like this invisible line running underneath the Noel, and now it's not foolproof. It's not like perfect, and I just kind of imagine a line running like my grid paper. Again, it's not foolproof, but it'll help. Watch me stamp it and to be completely off. Oh my goodness, that would be my luck. So this is in gold embossing powder, which is very messy. Now, where is my, hold on, there it is. Look away. Don't watch what I'm going to do. I still use my Stamping Buddy. I know Stampin' Up doesn't carry it anymore, but I still use it. I am told that you can make your own with cornstarch. Someone said that in my live recently, that you could put cornstarch in a sock and you would get the same effect as our retired embossing buddy. So I'm going to take my Noel. I'm going to ink it up generously with Versamark ink. Everybody hold your breath. I'm nervous about this placement. Worst case scenario, if I'm way off, I'm just going to stamp it and we'll cover it. Let's see. Oh, I don't think that's bad. We're going to generously sprinkle it with gold embossing powder. Tap off the excess. So you can see where my finger was. No problem. I can just wipe that off. No problem. Put your lid on your embossing powder or else it's going to go flying everywhere. I may know that from personal experience. And then we're going to just turn on our, hold on, there's a speck there that's going to bother me. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Turn on your heat tool until it goes from a nice powder to a nice shiny bright. When I'm embossing something like this, I really try and hold my cardstock as flat as I can get it. It does help it not warp. There we go. So I was saying that while I was heat embossing, that was probably not smart. But when I'm embossing like on a big piece of cardstock like this, I try and keep my cardstock as flat as possible because it will help prevent it from warping. The heat does warp our paper. As you can see, this is a little warped, but it's not terrible. Okie dokie. I have a panel, I don't know, I think this is 2 by 5.5. It doesn't have to be too wide. So for my sample, it was only like 1 inch wide, but it is easier the bigger it is. Okay. So in an effort to not use a huge piece of gold because you're only seeing this little bit, I just have like a little piece here. You don't even know it's a little piece unless you really analyze it. But if you want to have it bigger, you just have to cut it a full size. But I just have a little smidgen here that's showing. And I'm going to put adhesive just on my left side of my panel here. And I'm just going to catch. Now, the thing is to try and get it even. That's the hardest part. I think we're good there. There we go. So again, it just keeps, you don't even need 2 inches. It's just the wider it is a little easier. But you could easily have like a 1 inch panel here. If you feel more comfortable just matting it bigger, you can do the full length. But there's no sense in having that huge panel of gold. You don't need it really. Okay, so now this is going to go to my card front, but I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals, which I forgot to grab, of course. Yeah, I think I'm all out too. Let me open up a new one. Oh, thanks, Linda. Appreciate it. Okay, so dimensionals. Here we go. We're gonna load this guy up, especially since he's kind of warped a little bit from the heat embossing. I'm gonna put way more dimensionals on here than I really need, than I normally would. That's for sure. But I want him laying flat, and so that's what we're going to do. Okay. So peel these guys off. That's the problem when you use lots of dimensionals, then it takes forever to take them all off. Oops, oops, oops. And then they go flying everywhere. Okay, now if you find layering after something has dimensionals on it, because it is a little trickier, don't do the dimensionals. Just lay it flat on your card front. But I like a challenge, so I have the dimensionals. I'm going to start on the opposite corner. Okay, so I have it upside down right now, and I'm going to try and get this corner and this corner, and as long as I get those two, everything else should lay pretty flat. Okay, let me get the red dots, which I forgot to grab. These are the matte decorative dots. And I put my, okay, so it comes in all sorts of colors. I'm going to use, I think those are real red. I don't know. They're ombre, so it's a bunch of different hues that we get here. Did I pick that up or did that go flying? There's no rhyme or reason to where we're going to put these. Just wherever you think they would look pretty. And let's do one more like up here. I think I'm going to put the bow like here. So I just want to leave room for that. And here it is. I'm going to do a quick bow. I'm going to do a fork bow because those are the only bows I do. Even if you ever see my cards, I wrap around maybe ribbon and do a bow. I always do it fakely, not honestly, whatever the word is. I wrap around ribbon and then I adhere the bow over it because the only way I do a bow is a fork bow. That's why they're all the same size. So if you're not familiar with a fork bow, they're super, super easy to do. This is just a regular kitchen fork. I literally just leave it right here in my crafting desk. And I'm using I think it's the same one that Tara used, the Real Red sheer ribbon. I'm going to go across the front of my fork, around the back, and I'm going to take this one, and then I'm going to fold it over this guy over here and tuck him into the middle of my fork. And the dear friend that taught me about this taught me taught me to sing over the river and through the woods. And I say that in my head every time. I take this guy over here now, and I'm going to put him up through the middle part of my fork. They're so much easier, right, Patricia? Once you do a fork bow, I swear you don't ever go back. They're just so easy. It's like a serving fork, Amy. Unless you're really hungry, then I suppose you could just eat it. Then in the back here, you just tie a knot. Like so. And tie it real tight. Just give it a nice tug. And then slip it off. And you have a perfect bow every single time. Then I just line up my tails and do a little trimming, a little hair cutting. Whoa, that did not snip nicely. Whoa, those are still way too long. Hold on. We need another haircut. Way too long still. Let's try that. And let's try that. Better. Better, better, better. Okay, I'm not going to adhere that down yet because I'm going to have to use glue. For the inside, I'm keeping things super simple. I have that matching garden green pattern. This is 3/4 by 5 1/4. I had to think about it. And I normally would put it down here at the bottom, but I'm going to kind of mirror what's going on in my front and adhere it to the left side. Like so. Oh, and I didn't grab my real red. And then I'm going to stamp the sentiment. Christmas blessings to you and yours in real red. Thanks, Donna. I'm so glad you like it. You have to try it out. Thanks, Linda. Okay. And this is my sentiment. Hopefully this goes straight. If not, we're going to call it good enough. The true story, my sample, oh, that's pretty good. My sample card, my sentiment on the inside is a little lopsided. Wait, not that one, this one. It's a little lopsided. It's good enough. Whoever gets that card will show grace and love it nonetheless, I'm sure. We're going to just adhere my inside to the inside. Oh, this, by the way, is 4 by 5 1/4, my white here. Then I'm going to take a glop of, and I do this trick because it works and it's amazing. Whenever I'm adhering down a ribbon, a bow, I put a glop of liquid glue, literally a glop, a generous glop. Oops. I put my bow over it. I plop a block over it and I set it aside. Come back in about 5 minutes. That glue will be dry and you are good to go. But let's not leave off our envelope. So I have the same pattern. Everything's matching. The envelope, the outside, the inside. It's all going to be matching with this pattern here. And I'm going to adhere it down. This is 2 1/4 by 5. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. 2 1/4 by 6. And we're just going to put some liquid glue down. I didn't do any fussy cutting, y'all. I'm not even from the South. So you're welcome. If you would like to add a little fussy cutting, you could easily fussy cut out that bird and adhere him down with Stampin' Dimensionals. Would be amazing. But I thought I would keep it simpler for you guys. Simple cards with little details. That's kind of my thing. That's what I like. Okay, I'm going to just trim off the excess here. The nice thing about this card is that it is a Christmas card that I made, but you could easily have it be a thank you card. Like it's not like a Christmas tree. I mean, I guess it is pretty Christmassy looking, but I think it would make a great Christmas thank you card, right? Like thank someone for a gift or whatever. I think this would make, or just like a thinking of you in the wintertime card, whatever. The y'all comes out every now and then, even though I'm not even from the South and I've never lived in the South. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Okay, so here is your final product. I have to put the black back on it because as you can see, the ribbon is coming apart. But simple design. I love the bird, love the gold details, And I think you're really going to like the card. I think you're going to like it. So give it a shot, give it a try, give it a shot. Let me know how you make out. Any questions, please let me know. So I'm done. Next up is Terry Lynn. She'll be live at noon. So be sure, I have no idea what time it is, but be sure to come back at noon for her card design and everybody else the rest of the day. Be sure to be going back through the different posts and commenting, playing along for Prize Patrol. I hope you have an amazing World Card Making Day. This is our day. I feel like this is made for us. And I just hope you have an awesome, awesome day. Thank you so much for joining us today and in our event. And I hope you have a great rest of your time here. I'll catch you around soon, everyone. Bye-bye.